10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Just caught a
5, 4,
Falcon 9 launch.
3, 2, 1. Engine ignition and liftoff of the Falcon 9 rocket on the Starlink 6-61 mission. The Falcon 9 has cleared the tower.
They've got rocket science down to a science. Florida is a beautiful place. I hope to be opening up a Firing Room 1 studio down there in Cape Canaveral, my first hometown, sometime in 2025.
Now a little more than a minute into flight. Some great tracking views from our team here around Florida's Space Coast.
Well, SpaceX is launching a Falcon 9 right now, and the other day I launched a new production company here in Upstate New York called Pinnacle Hill Productions, and we're at the base of Pinnacle Hill, and using this launch to announce our launch. Actually just got our operating papers, formation papers in the mail today. I'm going to do an unboxing right now during this launch.
That call you just heard from SpaceX, they are thermally conditioning the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage in preparation for its ignition coming up here.
You send the formation papers and a few other legal papers, tax papers, in a nice folder and embossed with your company name. And our company name, of course, is Pinnacle Hill Productions. And
coming up on Miko.
I'll open it up right after Miko.
Do you see Miko? A great view of stage separation from P. Carson's. And there you see ignition.
Stage separation confirmed.
Good views.
Cool. Stage set, and I'm going to separate the top of this box. It has our nice notebook in it. I believe it's got our formation papers in it and our tax papers from the government. Saying we're a legal entity.
Around Florida Space Coast. Good view of the Pilgrim deployment.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Oh yeah, look at that.
See that from the onboard cameras there. The Starlink satellites on this mission now exposed back into space for the first time in this flight. Some good views from Chuck and Jen Briggs, seeing both the upper stage and the Falcon booster.
Pinnacle Hill Productions.
Payload fairings reflecting the sun.
Open this thing up.
Really nice views here today.
And it should have some goodies in it. First goodie is a notebook for meeting notes or whatever, but again, embossed. I incorporated or did the filing through LegalZoom. They make it really easy.
4 minutes into flight.
And
we're less than 2 minutes away from the next milestone, which is the first stage entry burn. That burn's set to last about 24 seconds in total.
Got a nice
still getting some
folder in here with
the
slots for different
stage.
Different your papers, but you got your
track with the wind today, but
operating agreement, which kind of tells you what you're supposed to do, and this is filed through New York State. If anybody wants to see what one kind of looks like right there. And
time of day as well. The onboard cameras from the Falcon
And,
9
other
first and
things
second
like,
stages are really quite something. Now coming up on 5 minutes
tax
into flight.
paperwork. EIN numbers. And our
Less than a minute is
articles
when
of
the entry burn
formation.
is set to begin. We may or may not be able to
Pinnacle Hill
see it from the ground
Productions.
with our tracking cameras.
And
If
we are
do,
going to
we'll of course bring those
be
views to
filming,
you.
among other things, films, a couple franchises with 3 or more films, at least one trilogy, and a new franchise with 7 films in it. And we hope to be pitching that to one of our favorite film studios in California here real soon, with a facility in Florida. And got about 3 more minutes before the booster
6
lands,
minutes
but
and counting.
the
Entry burn should be underway in real
Pinnacle
time.
Hill Productions.
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
Pinnacle Hill Productions.
Stage 1
The base of Pinnacle Hill.
Entry burn may just be in the wrong position in the sky.
Source of inspiration
Our
for
tracking cameras to be
one
able
of the
to catch it.
trilogies, actually.
That burn will
And
have wrapped up by now.
that story is
Real-time
called
it is received
Project
from the
Mercury, and
SpaceX
I've been
vehicle
talking about it
slight
for a couple of
delay.
years now. Technically, the idea for that story started, I think, when I was about 12 years old, visiting Rochester and looking at a lot of the older
Conclusion
turn of the
entry
century
burn that sets up the
buildings,
Falcon 9
or
first stage
at least they
booster
are now. They're about
should
100
start
years
its
old, like the
landing
Times
burn
Square
coming up at about
building
T+7
off
minutes,
Exchange
44
Street,
seconds.
and some of the older
And the first
buildings
stage
in the
landing on
area
the
kind of
drone ship, a
inspired me
short
to
fall Raptors,
research
8 minutes and 13
Rochester
seconds
history and
post liftoff.
integrate that in with some of the history of my own and our family's history in the space industry. As some of you know, our father was a launch controller
30
during the
seconds
Apollo
away
and
from
Skylab missions in the
landing
firing
burn
room
beginning.
down at Kennedy Space Center,
Those pops that you've been
which is
seeing
why
in
this
between
place kind of
the
looks like this.
hypersonic grid fins on the Falcon first stage
That was
booster are
inspired
cold
from
gas thrusters.
all those years
Those
down
help
in
to adjust
Florida,
the attitude
launching
and the position
people
of
to the moon
Falcon
and
9
not thinking anything of it,
first
like it
stage
was
booster.
special until we found out it was.
Stage 2 FTS is safe.
But
Makes
anyway,
its way towards the drone ship. Flight termination system.
as soon as this
The
rocket
ATS is
lands
saved, as you just heard.
and
More needed at this stage in
second
flight.
stage cutoff happens, I'm going to
The Falcon 9 first stage traveling
actually
below the speed of sound.
get busy. We're working on our first pitch for Project Mercury and a trilogy, which at least the first film, I believe 80% of it should be filmed right here in Monroe
Landing burn
County,
underway. We should get some views of the drone ship coming up momentarily.
approximately, and some down in New York City, and then some in a couple other cities around the world for because they're in the story. But here we are. We got landing coming up.
And for an
Like
18th
clockwork.
time,
Um,
1073
And
is
that's
safely
actually
down
hopefully
on the
what we're
drone
going to be
ship.
doing with Pinnacle Hill Productions, is producing films like clockwork. We are going to be using a system by Autodesk called flow tracking, and basically tracks your production flow. You have pipelines and feed your media into those pipelines as per the story, and how you have your shots all divvied out. And it's a nice tool that helps you interact with other vendors around the world that can do special effects, and you can send the shots to them and handle quoting system
coming up
and all of that.
next.
So hope to give you more news on how we're
Reignition
going
of
to
rover
employ
back
that
engine
here
at
at Pinnacle Hill, or
54 minutes and 5
and
seconds.
how our testing of that
Be a brief 1-second burn to circularize
occurred,
the orbit.
and what the results of
The
that
Starlink
was.
satellites will be deployed
And,
in T plus 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 13 seconds.
And now, about 10 minutes into this flight, I'm going to get going, and I'm
With a
going
good
to
liftoff and landing of that first
put
stage
these
booster, we're going to go ahead and
these
turn
papers into the
momentarily
sleeves on here in
to
this notebook,
our
and
mission
then
stats as they currently stand, but
move
do
on to the
thank
next
you
step, which
folks
is
in the live chat for your support this afternoon. Cruised on into the evening.
producing,
Our thanks to
because that's what producers do. They produce.
100 SEK super
So,
chat. Really appreciate that, Sulfur.
see you around
Space Flight
Rochester
Now
doing
office.
some
It's very kind.
producing.
Ryan Snyder with a $5 super chat.